Expose yourself to the power of water first. Pierre's voice was calm, but his training was anything but easy. For days now, he had been putting Calypso through harsh drills. He asked her to dive into the water. Sometimes awakening occurs in life-threatening situations, Pierre explained. No, I can't swim yet, Calypso quickly replied. If you don't like it, there are other options, Pierre said flatly. What other options? Calypso asked curiously. Pierre began describing harsh trials that could force an awakening. Just hearing them made Calypso shiver. I'll just swim, she muttered, diving into the water. The training Pierre forced on her was intense. No ordinary child could endure 500 planks or 10 hours of running, but Calypso pushed through. Though faint, she could feel something, like a small power hidden deep within her. Lost in thought, she almost forgot to kick her legs and ended up gasping for air as she surfaced. Pierre stood on the bank, watching her closely. His eyes squinted. Perhaps you're an amoeba. What? Calypso blinked in disbelief. No, even an amoeba would react to this level of stimulation. Your talent for awakening the power of water is less than that. His words hit her hard. Master, just because you hit me with words doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, she said pitifully. Pierre didn't flinch. Did you even consider my age? Calypso argued back. If you can handle all this training, does that matter? He replied heartlessly. Even so, she didn't feel bad. Because deep down, she knew, her efforts weren't wasted. She was really changing. The next day was her first day at the Primary Education Institute. At the entrance, she was greeted by Layla, the head of the institute. Calypso instantly recognized her from her third life. Layla had always been faithful to her duty. Nice to meet you again, Layla, Calypso greeted her with perfect etiquette. Layla blinked in surprise. I've heard about it, but seeing it directly is surprising. At 3 years old, you not only speak perfectly, but you also have impeccable manners. Pleased by her, Layla personally led Calypso to her classroom. Inside, the room was filled with children of the same age. This is Calypso, our new student, Layla introduced her. Throughout the day, Layla observed closely. Several children came to Calypso, some asked her to play with blocks, others offered food to share. Calypso responded to each one calmly, showing a maturity far beyond her age. Her behavior impressed the class. Finally, Calypso turned toward Layla with a sly look. So, Layla, do you still need more time to test me? The corner of Layla's lips curved. No, I think you should move to a higher class. Do you have a preferred class? This was the moment Calypso had been waiting for. Put me in the 8th whale class in the Alpha section, specifically, Calypso replied calmly. That was the class of the oldest primary students, the place that gathered the very best. How about it? She looked straight at Layla, her tone like a challenge. Is there anyone in that class who can speak better than me? Layla finally smiled. No, you would be the best. But you must bear the consequences of your own choices. Do you understand? Calypso smiled proudly. That statement alone means you're not treating me like a 3-year-old, right? Yes, I'm impressed. Aside from when your third brother came to the institution, it's been a long time since I've been this surprised, Layla admitted sincerely. Then she frowned in thought. But tell me, who told you about the educational stages in this institution? Calypso noticed other teachers watching too. With an innocent blink, she replied, my dad did. My dad loves me so much, he told me everything in detail. She started bragging again, which left the room stunned. Everyone knew her father had never cared to meet his children. It was public knowledge. If Pierre was really guiding her, then besides her being a genius, perhaps a new successor candidate had appeared. Layla didn't comment further. She only said, I'll guide you to the class you've chosen. That evening, Calypso proudly bragged to Pierre about how her abilities had been recognized. Pierre listened, then asked flatly, I don't understand why you're excited. If you can't control the power of water, you will eventually be eliminated. Her good mood collapsed instantly. Wow, Master, you're such a killjoy. But fine, I get it. After all, I'm just a 3-year-old who can only have a decent conversation with a socially awkward person like you. Pierre's eyes narrowed. Do you want an additional 10 laps today? Calypso immediately stopped teasing. Instead, she flexed her small arm and showed him her bicep. But Master, look at this. Have you ever seen a 3-year-old with this much endurance? With these muscles, I might be able to break stones soon. Pierre had to admit she had a point. Truly strange. You can't produce water, but your physical abilities keep improving. Without warning, he gestured for her to follow. Today's training isn't over yet. He led her to his own residence. To her surprise, it was modest, too modest for someone of his rank. When he opened the bedroom door, Calypso was stunned. The room was a disaster. "Master, is this a pigsty?" she blurted. "How rude. Don't compare it to livestock," Pierre replied without blinking. "Sorry, but, what is this room?" she asked, wrinkling her nose. "This is my room, and you're going to clean it." Calypso stared at him. "I'm sorry, but what does this have to do with awakening?" Pierre explains her process. Pierre explained the process, which calmed Calypso a little. "So you want me to use the power of water, right?" she asked. "There are several ways to apply it," Pierre said evenly. "First, intimidating your opponent with presence, inflicting fear, in other words. Second, materializing water and controlling it freely. Third, removing the restrictions water beings face on land. Fourth, using water power to enhance the body. But enhancement only goes so far. If your awakening isn't close, you'll have to keep using your powers regularly." Understanding, Calypso began cleaning the messy room. After a while, she tried to ask Pierre something, but he didn't reply. When she looked at him, he wore the same detached expression, like someone with no regrets left in the world. Is it because he's sickly and in pain? Calypso wondered. By nightfall, she was nearly done cleaning. Among a pile of books, she noticed a folded handkerchief. "Where should I put this?" she asked. "Throw it away. It's useless," Pierre said without hesitation. Her instincts kicked in. If he reacts like that, it must be important. "Got it, I'll throw it away," she said casually, but slipped it into her pocket. "But master, isn't it yours?" "No, it belonged to my wife." "Wow, that's surprising. No warning before saying something like that." In her past lives, she had never heard anything about Pierre's wife, only that her mother was an orca and a good person. She didn't ask further. Seeing her cleaning and complaining under her breath made Pierre smile faintly, as if he was enjoying the moment. The next day at the institution, rumors about her being a genius had already spread far and wide. "It's already reached 16 families, Layla informed her. Calypso blinked. How did it spread so far in one day? "Some of the teachers present yesterday belong to the flying fish family," Layla explained. "And you know how chatty they are." That made sense. When Calypso arrived at her new class, she asked Layla, "Am I impressive?" "Since I entered the top class in just one day. I can't say otherwise," Layla replied. Calypso looked at her seriously. "Then tell grandmother that. Tell her you've never seen a genius like me." Layla was shocked but chuckled at her quick-witted reply. Whales generally avoided conflict, loved peace, and were tolerant of other species. But among them, there were the killer whales, troublemakers by nature. As Calypso entered the classroom, she spotted one of them, Karen, a killer whale, stirring up trouble with a pair of twins. When he noticed Calypso, his expression soured. "What? A direct descendant? If it's a young girl, then, is it Pierre's daughter?" He had heard the rumors of her being useless, so naturally, he decided to pick on her.